So today I'm going to talk to you really quickly about applying for the BPTC. So we'll start simple. What is the BPTC? So the BPTC is the mandatory course that you have to complete in order to get called to the Bar of England and Wales. Some other jurisdictions, I think, allow you to do the BPTC and then you can go practice elsewhere. But in terms of practicing in England and Wales, you have to have done the BPTC in order to become a barrister. Now, the BPTC is a vocational course. It's all framed around teaching you the skills and things that you need to learn in order to become a barrister, and it is essentially set out, the guidance, the guide is set out by the Bar Standards Board about how they expect you to complete the course and the things that you're supposed to complete on the course. Now, the first thing you need to do is obviously find where you want to study the BPTC. Now, there's lots of different centres all over the country. Each of the different centres are equally capable. I wouldn't say there's any centre that is particularly better than another one, but the pros and cons do come based on what's most important to you. So if you want to practice in London, and you know for a fact you want to practice in London, then you know that you're going to be choosing between City, BPP and University of Law. Essentially, those are your main ones to think between. And then in terms of how to decide between those three, it really comes down to what your own personal preferences are. For me, I'm all about the networking. I'm all about making connections. I want to be surrounded by as many opportunities to mingle and network with barristers and chambers as I can, and City, in my opinion, was the best place for me to do that. Additionally, City tends to host some very prestigious competitions. City has very good connections. Their pupillage advisory service is ridiculously well hooked up, and I rate City for that reason. However, there's other people who go to other centres because, for example, if they want to do a part-time course, I've been told that best places to go for part-time courses are definitely BPP, definitely Uni of Law. So think about you as a person, what your most important things you need are, and then the next thing, visit the centres. Come armed with questions, come armed with, intimate things to be like, listen, I want to practice da-da-da kind of law. How much support and availability for networking do you have for people who want to go into this area? Do you have activities and things that I can do that relate to this? And make sure that you have your own checklist, because with the BPTC, it's a highly intense course, and it's not intense academically the way you're probably used to. It's intense in terms of you've got to work from the very beginning to the very end, and you've got to focus on the detail. That's what I've been told over and over again. The BPTC is all about learning the details, learning the skills, learning the nuances. For example, drafting an opinion takes time. How do you learn to do that? Advocacy exercises, developing your skills. It's skills development. So you've got to think about it. Where am I going to be able to focus and feel the most supported? Some people want a teeny tiny centre. In that case, I'd recommend one of the regional centres. So if you want to work in a very small, close-knit environment, there are certain centres that are specifically tailored towards that, to the point that they limit how many people they let onto the course in order to maintain a certain intimacy. And then, other people, for example, like me, I said I value networking opportunities, and I know I want to practice in London, so it was a no-brainer for me. So you've got to think, do I want to live at home? If you want to live at home, that narrows down your choices too. The biggest thing I'd say in terms of making the choice is do what's right for you. Realistically, this is a professional course, it's a professional qualification, and it's an important time where you need to be able to feel like you've got space. Part of the reason, apart from the fact that I want to practice in London, part of the reason why I didn't go to study the BPTC in Bristol is because I know I'm not going to get anything done with my mum around. I love my mum to death, but she'll be asking me to babysit, she'll be asking me to do this, that and the other. I won't be able to focus, so I had to get out. So that's how I ended up in London. Now, think about you as an individual. Now, the actual process, bear with me because there are a few steps you have to go through to apply for the BPTC. There are 2 rounds of application entry for the BPTC. There's usually the first round, which is around December time. Now, that is when you need to go onto the BarSAS website. I hope that's how you say it. I'll link it below. And then it's kind of like UCAS but for bar school. And then you do 3 options and you pick where you want to go. They have a little bit of like a personal statement you need to write. You provide references and all of that good stuff. You send off, you wait for your offers. Around March, April time, you receive offers back, and then you accept. And then after you've accepted, you have to sit the entrance exam and the BCAT. The BCAT's an aptitude test. I think you've got all the way up until September to sit it, but you probably want to get it out of the way as soon as you can. Now the BCAT is essential. You cannot start the BPTC course if you have not passed the BCAT aptitude test. So make sure you're ready for that part as well. And then after that, you go on and get started with the BPTC. Now, that should cover the majority of the questions people have asked me. Now, remember I mentioned before in my last video about BPTC scholarship interviews that you can get scholarships and funding for the BPTC. It's not cheap. So you can get it through the center that you study at, and you can get them through the Inns of Court. And Inns of Court BPTC scholarships are important not only as a tick box on you, say, this person's going to go on and become a barrister, but also for financial security. They can be very important to people too. So look up Inns of Court scholarships, see which ones you want to apply for, and apply to join an inn, apply for the scholarship. So final checklist if you're applying to the BPTC. First round of applications, December time. Second round of applications is, I think, Easter time or after that. Basically, there's 2 a year. Next step, have you completed the BCAT? You've got, I think, until September to complete the BCAT, but try and get that done as soon as possible. And then thirdly, think about scholarships. Now, scholarships are handed out before, so you need to be thinking about scholarship interviews way in around November time. You need to be applying for scholarships, which will then lead to interviews in around March time. And then after that, you should probably get around the same time, have your scholarship feedback back and your BPTC offer back. So yeah, I hope that covers the essentials about the BPTC for you. And also, just if you have any questions, find me on Twitter at Blessing Makosha or at Blessing at the Bar on Instagram. Send me a DM, a private message, whatever you like, and I'll answer any questions or investigate anything you need me to. All right, peace guys.